My Kaspa family, appreciate you guys as always, for sticking around and showing tremendous amount of love. Let's take a look at what's happening with Kaspa right now as we are going into Thursday morning. Again, if you've been following the channel, if you've been listening very, very closely, stuff that we spoke about is happening. FOMC meeting is over, no rate cut, but yet you're starting to see the market going back into the green. So I personally think, this once again is a confirmation for what we were speculating upon last night, how, the market was kind of pricing itself, going into the FOMC meeting. And as we have that concluded, you are starting to see, even if you look at it on the last 1 hour, you're starting to see the market pick up right now. Kaspa right now is still down about 1% in Bitcoin and USD. Comparative valuation at about 1.87 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about 80.6 million. Again, quite interesting in Kaspa standards, something we shouldn't be ignoring. Price at 7.1 cents. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in cryptocurrency. So if you're looking at the dominance here, we actually did see the dominance climb up quite a bit. You're looking at about a 65.07% retest before the FOMC meeting. Since then, you actually have started to see the dominance pulling down. But of course, in a grand scheme of things, the dominance is not anywhere where we would like to see it. But, the fact that it has gone down a little bit is obviously a good sign for altcoins, because, Bitcoin, on the other hand, is pretty much still ranging around $105,000, which again is nice to see. And it's giving, altcoins a little bit of a leeway, to really, head towards the upside, as we can really see this for ourselves. Actually, some altcoins doing quite strong moves. INJ up 5.4, Arrow, Radium, Jito Sol, C. You guys get the idea as to what I'm really showing you. But now if you're looking at the price of Kaspa here, Kaspa is still ranging within this level. And I know, we kind of got a lot of people spooked out about, the potential of us seeing a triple bottom. Again, I'm not saying that the likelihood of that happening is, just going to happen right away. It's requires BTC to see quite a sharp pullback. Bitcoin would need to drop down to maybe the 38.2, retesting the likes of the $93,480 for the price of Kaspa to get down to those levels. But the fact that someone's going to come out and say there's no chance of that happening, I think that is unfair to say. I think the chance of that happening is still definitely there, unless of course BTC pushes back above the 106,800. And starts pushing up towards all-time highs. But dominance is where you really want to keep your eyes on. Dominance needs to pull down, and obviously we're going to enter the second half of the year. Is that really going to be the case where you do tend to see the dominance pulling down, which could give altcoins more of a push? Bitcoin did end up hitting a new all-time high. The previous all-time high was back at the beginning of the year. We once again hit a new all-time high back in May. So are we going to see a little bit more upside? Maybe Bitcoin pushing up to higher levels. We'll see what happens. Obviously, in terms of interest coming in towards the crypto industry, Genius Act being discussed. There's a lot of good things happening with the crypto space. So the price of Bitcoin pretty much still ranging in the 23.6 fib zone. So I'm not writing it off. But if this somehow was the top for the price of Bitcoin, I do anticipate, sometime in Q3 or, early Q4, we do start to see that, dominance pulling down, which could cause altcoins to really push towards the upside. But let's not forget, regardless of the dominance being above 60%, you still did see Kaspa going up to the likes of 13 cents. And I think, if we were still at the levels of the dominance as to where we were back in August of last year, I think we would have seen, Kaspa and the likes of other altcoins, really pushing up to, the November highs, as well as, the beginning of the year highs, which a lot of people overlook. And I'm very confident, that's where we would have been if the dominance was not this high. But right now, if you're looking at the price of Kaspa, still ranging around the 7.1 cents. As you guys know, I don't really want to say it like 100 times, but it's very, very important for us to, start pushing up to this key resistance. Very, very important. If we're able to turn that back into support, I don't care if the price of Kaspa consolidates, above this range for maybe the next 2-3 months. I actually don't care. That's totally fine. But being below it, it's just not where I would like to see the price of Kaspa at. But we need to obviously keep what's happening with the crypto markets into consideration. More volatility to be expected, which is exactly what we saw happening. But really, really important for us to reclaim back above that range, which again itself is only about a 17% move from where we currently are. So market pushing up to that range. And if dominance pulls down, I think, we could really reclaim back above those levels quite fast. But let me know down below what you guys think. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you later from Crypto ZX, and peace out.